adventurer, the fighter, the enemy of lies, staying quiet. Still, I'm absorbing all stress until I explode. Then I am civil unrest. I'm the hope that was born in Malala's heart, the dream of Sandra, looking for a fresh start. I'm the will of Rayhana, keep Island safe. The fireborn in Antioch, the surviving rape. I'm a mother, a daughter, a grand and a great responsibility to support and create. I'm the fight against a corrupt prison system, standing on the front lines, robustly resistant. I'm the key that unlocks every detention center, the cord, the blood, the mighty placenta. I am fierce, ferocious, and furiously strong. I am Mother Earth, and this is my song. They try to bury us, they didn't know we would see. So we keep on watering and pulling out the weeds. They try to bury us, they didn't know we would see.
What? Madre de Tierra. Maya Jupiter is in the studio with me, so if you're not on YouTubes, get on the YouTubes now at KBLA 1580. She was born in La Paz, Mexico, to a Mexican father, a Turkish mother, grew up in Sydney, Australia. That's where she started her lifelong love affair with hip-hop, signing to an all-female hip-hop label called Mother Tongues. Released her first solo album in 2003 and still on the mic. She's been in radio, TV, music, TV, host, producer, and much more. Maya, and activist, always activist.
I like the term artivist.
Artivist. Yeah. Maya Jupiter, welcome.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
Break that down, artivist.
Artivist is an artist activist, and I first learned the term here in Los Angeles, and artivista, if you're a Spanish speaker. And I was like, yeah, that's what I identify as, because that's, in the music, hip-hop has always been about artivism. And there's always message in the music, and I don't consider myself an activist so much, but definitely I use my art for positive social change.
And you and all of you is in the music. I think that song we just heard, Madre Tierra, you've got clearly, your Mexican roots there. I'm sure the Turkish is in there somewhere. We hear anything you say, we hear Australia.
I know. I realized how Australian I was when I left the country, when I moved here. Because in Australia, people always ask, where are you from? And so in Australia, I'm half Mexican, half Turkish. And then when I came to LA, I was like, oh, I'm Australian. I was like, okay. Everything. Culturally, I'm Australian, I think.
And LA, and in some ways very LA, right?
Yes.
And
definitely.
why do I say that? Okay, the Liberación Collective,
yes,
Congo and Lebanon,
yes,
tomorrow at the Miracle Theater in Inglewood. This is something, you're always doing artivist things and organizing more than some organizers that I know. And this is something that you're working on.
Yes, alongside Travel with Purpose, Lauren Medina, shout out. This is her brainchild. This is her baby, I should say. And came to Artivist Entertainment and asked for partnership. So we are co-presenting this event, Liberación Collective. It's the first of a 3-part series that's going to focus on drawing the parallels amongst different global issues to find connection amongst marginalized communities here in Los Angeles. So this first one is highlighting a couple of organizations and fundraising, directly fundraising. We're not profiting anything. All funds raised goes to Friends of Congo and to Egna Legna. So Friends of Congo will use their funds to house displaced women and children, secure food and water, and Egna Legna is an organization in Lebanon which works with African women trapped in the kafala system, which proceeds will be used for food, women's hygiene products, diapers, rent, medical assistance. And then the next couple of, in the series, will focus on Palestine, Sudan, the Land Back movement, the BLM movement here in LA, in the United States as well.
Wow. And this is going to have... among the featured speakers, Vic Mensa, right?
Yes. He's flying in to give a keynote speech, and also incredible author and award-winning. I think she's an artivist as well. Ijoma Alua from Seattle. She wrote So You Want to Talk About Race and a few other books as well. And she's coming to give a keynote speech as well.
So there's workshops, there's food vendors, poetry.
Yes.
Are you performing?
I'm not performing. I'm going to host.
I'm looking. Maya
working.
Jupiter, Maya Jupiter. Where does it say Maya Jupiter on this flyer?
I'm working. So I'm, facilitating the event, right? So I'm going to host. I'm going to be one of the hosts, but I'm not going to perform. Not this time.
I'm laughing just because, of course, we want to see you perform, but it's because you relate as an artivist, but you're very much of a community organizer. Yeah. So talk to me about, let's talk about hip hop a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah, because we started off, we were just talking to Kevin Powell. You said you were listening. And I've been in this, I don't know if it's the end of the Mercury retrograde or what's happening, but I've been in this really reflective space about the long journey in hip hop and how whether you chose hip hop or hip hop chose you.
Chose me.
That's how I feel too. Why do you say that?
Because I don't remember making the decision. I just was. I think I reflect on this as well. And I'm like, what is it? Is it something that on a cellular level? Is it a spiritual level? Like, what was it about the music that just moved me and that touched me more than anything else compared to any other genre? Because in Australia, hip hop was not, especially in the 80s, it was not popular. It was, we were a rock music country, and dance music or electronic music as well. But everybody was into rock, and there were rock and roll. Well, not even rock and roll, but rock stations that say we don't play that rap crap. Like that was their slogan, and you'll never find rap here. That kind of, it was very racist. But yeah, no, they. I don't know what it was that drew me to the music. Whether it was the message in the music or the beats, the instrumentation, it was probably all of it. And also, identifying with, just relating to the message of just, I don't know, like struggling, finding your place. Also the empowerment of it, like being able to have a open mic to be able to talk about what's going on in your life. And it doesn't have to be, a pop kind of love song. It could just be about what's happening in your community and what you're seeing and the injustices that you're seeing. And I think that made me feel empowered.
Which came first, the art or the activism in ARTivist for you?
The art.
The art came first. Yeah.
As a child, I loved to dance. Like my whole childhood was making up routines. First of all, following recording Janet Jackson and other music videos on Saturdays when they used to play them on VHS. Stop, rewind, play, stop, rewind. We're trying to study the choreography. I could do the dance routine. Just Michael Jackson, of course. We're just watching, music videos and trying to, learn all of that stuff. But I used to love making up dance routines. I was in ballet and tap as a kid. I hated ballet. I hated it so much, but it was like, you have to do this and I really wanted to do jazz. And our teacher was this, bless her heart, like, an old white lady who was very traditional, and we would go to competitions and we would be doing like dancing to songs like On the Sunny Side of the Street, and other dance schools were dancing to Janet, and I was, always jealous and upset. I wanted to do the things the cool kids were doing. But music, in terms of, dance first in my life, and I always wanted to sing, but we couldn't afford singing lessons. And I think I found my voice and my vocal expression through hip hop, through emceeing. Yeah.
And did your family freak out?
I think my mom was always, like, well, when are you going to go to university? And
right. Like it was a phase. Like some people think being gay is a phase.
Right.
Some people think hip hop is a phase. But here we are.
She didn't freak out. I think because she knew that, it was the family when people came to visit. It was like, show us some steps, show us some moves. Like we always put on a show for the folks that came over. So she knew I was always going to entertain and, that I was like that.
Mm-hmm. And so you're already dancing, you're already rapping, and where does the activism come from?
I think I started writing rhymes. Well, I started writing poetry probably around, I don't know, 11 or 12 years old. And I think I wrote my first kind of rap verse at 14 or 15 years old. And I'm trying to think about where the artivism comes from. I can't say the first event that I got involved with, but I know the first protest that I went to, which was the French were bombing the Pacific. They were testing nuclear weapons in the South Pacific, which is very close to Australia, and basically the water that it is surrounded by the water that surrounds Australia, and we were. There were, I don't know how many tens of thousands of people who went to the city and protested and like boycotted French pride. That's the first time I learned about boycotting. Like Bic pens are French. This is when I remember like French shampoos, like L'Oreal or whatever. Just like learning like that you have power in where you spend your money. And I was still in high school when that happened. And that was something that I started to understand. Okay, we have power. Our money is power, and where we spend it matters.
Well, it's certainly, if that started in high school, it has sustained and probably maybe grown throughout the arc of your career. Would you say?
Oh yeah, definitely.
The more you read,
also,
the more you protest.
I remember in high school too, we had one of those kind of talent shows where it was called Multicultural Day, and it was like a school festival sort of thing in the daytime, and I asked to perform a song. I'm trying to remember what beat it was to. It was probably like a Belle Biv DeVoe or something like that. But I wrote a rap for Multicultural Day, and it was probably one of my first rhymes, but I remember talking about my family, like coming to this country with nothing, and struggling with racism and all those kinds of things. And so I understood it. I understood the inequality from a young age. I experienced racism from first grade, second grade. Kids on the playground asking me where I was born and telling me to go back to my own country. And I didn't understand that as such a young child. I think about my son and my daughter who are so little, and like sometimes I have to laugh because it's crazy how those deep scars, like something that was so painful at that time. I'm a 46-year-old woman now, and I'm like, I can't be upset over something that a 7-year-old, said, who doesn't know anything. And it's crazy that it's still something that's painful, that we carry these things.
Yeah, I think you can be upset. I mean, it's nice if we can heal it, but it's because it's not the 7-year-old.
Right.
She's acting as a spokesperson for the system
family.
of white supremacy.
Yeah, exactly.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, I think. Abby Rizzle is in the chat saying, Maya is a B-girl in Oz, an amazing Brazilian troupe dancer with a true talent.
Shout out to Abstract Rude. Yeah. Thank you, Ab.
Yeah.
I have known Ab since I was about 19 or 20. I was part of I actually helped bring him to Australia alongside AC Alone and Ambush from the Bay. And that was me trying to... I was so young. My gosh. I was probably 20 years old or something. Just loving hip hop and wanting to have our favorite artists come to Australia. And I knew nothing about tour promotion, but you just jump in and you just go, let's figure it out. Let's try to do it because you just want to see it happen,
Amazing. We're talking with Maya Jupiter, 809-20-1580 if you want to jump in. I cannot wait to talk about, your new music, where you are now, and the journey. So fascinating. It's all roads lead to hip-hop for some of us. It's KBLA Talk 1580.
Say the quiet part out loud. KBLA Talk 1580.
At the tone, please record your message.
You ready? Drop it!
Mr. Tavis Smiley, preach it. Thank you, man. Politics in this country is crazy. You put things in perspective that even I didn't. The right is playing fast and loose with facts and scapegoating everyone under the sun, especially black and brown people. As a white man, I do not agree with this, and I am on my black and brown brothers and sisters' side. Fight the good fight. Know that I am part of the resistance. Let's fight the power.
Our freedom of speech is freedom of death. We got to fight the powers that be.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got your black.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Texting enrolls for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stop, opt out. Individual results may vary. Consult a doctor prior to use.
If you've struggled to lose weight in the past, this important message is for you because you could lose as much as 50 pounds or more with Zelfie. Zelfie makes it easy and affordable to get weight loss treatment 100% online. Zelfie providers can prescribe FDA-approved GLP-1 weight loss medications clinically shown to help people lose weight like Wegovy, Zepbound, and others. Plus, help get the medication covered by insurance so it's as little as $0 a month.
The doctors are super helpful, and the meds have been a game changer. It's the first program I've had success with.
Before Zelfie, I was unable to lose weight, even though I was eating healthy and exercising 6 days a week. Zelfie helped me not only lose weight, but I feel so much better.
Text GOAL to 200-300 to get started today with Zelfie and see if weight loss medications like Wegovy or Zepbound are right for you. Don't wait. Text now for a link to your exclusive offer. Text GOAL to 200-300. That's GOAL to 200-300. GOAL to 200-300.
After producing an award-winning climate justice campaign in 2024, KBLA Talk 1580 has gone all in on its 2025 Climate Justice plus Black Health Initiative. April is Minority Health Month, and Urban Family Focus in partnership with Providence Health Systems presents The Heart of the Matter. Providence doctors and health equity officers will participate in informative and life-changing conversations on hypertension, health equity, behavioral health, and community engagement. Don't miss these empowering conversations on Urban Family Focus every Saturday in April at 7 and Sunday at 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Sponsored by Providence, Southern California's largest and most comprehensive health care network. We've got a lot to talk about on KBLA Talk 1580. Download the KBLA 1580 app or log in to KBLA1580.com. I'm Reverend Gerald, the life coach, on KBLA Talk 1580. We've got your black.
40 acres and a mule, this is bigger than the music. Yeah, they tried to rig the game, but you can't fake influence.
Who among us doesn't like black music? But Kendrick is right. This moment is so much bigger than music. These are serious times. We've got serious problems, and we need serious people who understand that slogans are not solutions. When you want substantial and sober analysis about things that matter to you and the ones you love, this is where you turn. We're KBLA Talk 1580, and we've got your black.
Baby!
Thanks for waking up with Dominique DiPrima on KBLA Talk 1580.
Where will you go when you lose your sovereignty? How will you cope if you ain't got your basic needs? Who will you trust when the lies are sold as true? Love will see us through, only love will see us through. Where will you go when you lose your sovereignty? How will you cope if you ain't got your basic needs? Who will you trust when the lies are sold as true? Love will see us through, only love will see us through. Break through the noise, break down these cowboys. Think we haven't got a choice, think we haven't got a voice. We see through all your lies, we're connected to the truth. Community stands strong, from the elders to the youth. Hip-hop raised me, public enemy number one. Knowledge reigns supreme over nearly everyone. The personal is political, talking heads hypocritical. Your laws are parasitical, condition is critical. We come together, as one we unite. Take what was once hidden, bring it forth into light. Generations of wisdom that survived the worst. Reimagine society, First Nations first. When my child asks me to explain the world's pain, and I see her heart break again and again, she asks, why, mama, what is it that we can do? I tell her love will see us through, only love will see us through. Where will you go when you lose your sovereignty? How will you cope if you ain't got your basic needs? Who will you trust when the lies are sold as true? Love will see us through, only love will see us
Jupiter.
through. Where will you go
Love will see
when
us
you
through
lose
is the
your
song.
sovereignty?
Yes. Man, that song, it sounds like you wrote it the day before yesterday.
I know. I wrote it with Jessica Calderon, who's a Tongva Shumash artist. We have an EP together. And yeah, I think it's very self-explanatory.
Yeah.
I think of, when I say love will see us through, I think of radical love. I think of our actions as love, you know. Everything that you were talking about in the last hour of, you know, reparations, the Indigenous land back movement, it's all love. Like, this is love for community, this is love for each other. And at the end of the day, we can't fight hate with hate. And maybe I'm just getting old and trying to be more spiritual or something, but it seems like there's no way out of it other than radical love.
Yeah, well, I think that's elevating. I don't know that it's old, but in any case, if it's old, I'll take it. But I was talking with Miles Low Music over there, I think a couple days ago, about buying directly from the artist. He was telling me go to Bandcamp. I can't remember the other website that he said. I wrote it down. Where's the best place for us to buy your music and give maximum support to you and your work?
I don't have it for sale. I just use the streaming services. I used to, so I should set that up again, because I do have physical copies. It's usually when I do performances, I'll bring some, I have vinyl, I have CDs. Not that people, you know, necessarily listen to CDs. Sometimes I just buy other people's CDs just to support. But I do have like digital cards that come with it. So if you do support like the physical copy, you get a digital download as well. Yeah.
Okay, so right now it's streaming.
Yeah, just streaming.
Yeah. And of course your shows. How do we track you?
Yeah, Instagram is where I'm most active. So at Maya Jupiter on Instagram. I'm not on Facebook as much.
I abandoned it pretty much. Although, you know, yeah, I still am there. But so just Maya Jupiter.
Yes, Maya Jupiter on Instagram.
And we started with Madre Tierra, which means Mother Earth. I forgot to translate that for folks who don't speak Spanish. This one, you reference your child, your children. How is that, being a mama and still being a rap artist and, you know, performing, writing?
Yeah. Everything is a balancing act. I think most mums would say the same thing. Is, you know, it's interesting because I'm definitely full-time mama mode, but I never stopped being creative, even though I don't release projects as often as I think I would like to. The kids always see me doing shows or rehearsing or, you know, writing sometimes. Yeah, it is a balancing act. It's part of, you know, just trying to.
Does it change how you look at hip hop? I mean, like for me, okay, my child got my old, you know, you are also a hip hop TV person, right? I was just a host. You were like I
was a VJ.
Yeah. And my kid got my old videos and showed them to his friends, and it was just the running joke for the rest of my life. But it you know, you kind of filter I don't know, I filter things differently. I wouldn't abandon hip hop, but it gives me another dimension.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting because I want to share music with them, and a lot of the times there's, you know, content that I wouldn't share with them yet. So there are certain songs that that they don't have access to. They're 9 and 11, so you know there's time for all of that. But there's plenty that they. You know what the cutest thing is that I have all these hip hop baby tees, and I gave them to my son, and so he's walking around with like Ultramagnetics and Gangstar t-shirts, because you know how kids are wearing these rock bands like Nirvana that they've never heard their music. Right. I was like, listen, first of all, you're gonna rock something cool. That is someone from my generation is gonna go, what is that kid wearing? So it's pretty funny.
I was like, when my child started telling me about Del the Funky Homo Sapien, like it was a new artist, and I was rolling because of Del's collaboration with Gorillaz, and I'm going, okay,
wow.
I'm not gonna. everything old is new again.
That's right. I think that's the beauty of these streaming services, even though, they suck in terms of how they pay artists. But, there's this new generation who are finding all these like deep underground cuts. And it's like, how do you know about these independent artists from the 90s?
Right.
So that's pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, we only have a minute here till news, traffic, and sports, and then we'll continue on the other side. So I'm trying not to ask you a long, cumbersome question. But it sounds like you're going to stay on the mic.
Yes.
You're going to stay on the. Some people feel like you should retire from the mic. I used to say that. I changed my mind.
I think that's a longer than a 1 minute answer, but I would say that we have to reframe how we look at music. And that includes hip hop, instead of from a capitalistic point of view of that you do it to make money or to sustain, paying bills. More so, you do it as an expression of yourself, and for your own mental health, and because every person is creative.
And we'll get the long version of that, the more in depth. That was pretty dope, though. When we come forward with Maya Jupiter on KBLA Talk 1580.
She's reclaiming her time on KBLA Talk 1580. More First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward.
I'm Bree Wood with 4 Things You Should Know with BIN News. The son of former NBA player Gilbert Arenas is hospitalized following a serious crash in L.A. Elijah Arenas was placed into an induced coma after crashing his Tesla Cybertruck early Thursday morning. The 18-year-old is a 5-star basketball prospect and is committed to play at the University of Southern California. A federal judge has paused parts of President Trump's executive order on election laws, ruling he lacks authority to require proof of citizenship for federal voters. This power lies with Congress and the states. An aircraft crashed at Langley Air Force Base in Virginia on Thursday. The NTSB is investigating the crash of an experimental MX aircraft, MXS. There's no report of injuries or casualties at this time. And Cornell University is canceling singer Kehlani's May 7th performance due to her anti-Semitic and anti-Israel sentiments. The singer has been vocal about the Israel-Hamas war and support for Palestine. Get BIN News on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Welcome to the newly renovated Toyota of Carson. We want to say yes to every offer.
During our tax time sales event, get 0 down payment options, plus rates as low as 1.99%. Then receive an additional $1,000 trade-in bonus.
Toyota of Carson. Is this the time?
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
I'm a bad man.
The Clippers treated a sellout crowd at the Intuit Dome in Inglewood to a dominant performance last night in the NBA playoffs. They put a beat down on the Denver Nuggets with a 117-83 win to take a 2-1 lead in the best-of-7 first-round series. Another solid game for Kawhi Leonard, 21 points, 11 rebounds, and 6 assists. James Harden and Norman Powell dropped 20 points each. Game 4 is Saturday at 3 p.m. at the Intuit Dome. The Lakers are in Minneapolis tonight for Game 3 of their first-round series with the Timberwolves, 6:30 tip-off on ESPN. It was a tough night Thursday for Colorado quarterback Shedeur Sanders. Deion's son has been the most talked-about prospect leading up to the NFL draft, but all 32 teams passed on him in the first round. Sanders will have to wait for today's second round to hear his name called. The draft resumes today at 4 p.m. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson. More news, opinions, and conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio. That's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580.
Looking for a purposeful and passionate way to make a difference in your community? Volunteer with our Senior Medicare Patrol and help prevent Medicare fraud. SMP volunteers work in their community educating peers about healthcare fraud and how to prevent and detect it. Free training starts soon. Check us out online or at an SMP open house near you. We're on a mission to stop fraud. Join our team. You make a difference. Visit caspvolunteer.org. Protect yourself from Medicare card scams. Scammers may call, email, or even knock on your door claiming they need your Medicare info, asking for money or threatening to cancel your benefits. Don't fall for it. It's a scam. Remember, Medicare doesn't need to verify your information. They already have it. Medicare won't charge you for a new card and will never threaten to cancel benefits. Check your Medicare statements for suspicious charges and report scams to the California Senior Medicare Patrol at 1-855-613-7080. We're here to help.
When the flames subside, who ensures that the stories endure? At KBLA Talk 1580, we're committed to preserving the voices that shape our community. We know people have short memories, and as long as this Black Talk radio station is on the air, we will not let Altadena be forgotten. We are honored to announce that the Altadena Historical Society will officially archive our recent town hall alongside every episode of Conversation Live Altadena Rising with James Farr. This is the show of record, the definitive source for tracking Altadena's roots, resilience, recovery, and reunion. These stories will now live on for students, scholars, researchers, and journalists seeking truth and legacy in the months and years to come. Because history isn't just made, it's honored, it's recorded, and it's passed forward. We're KBLA Talk 1580, and we've got your black. At Exquisite Family Mortuary, we know how overwhelming it can be planning a meaningful farewell for your loved one. Secure your peace of mind by calling Charlotte White at 323-577-5562. That's Charlotte White at 323-577-5562. From traditional funeral services to memorials to direct cremation, pre-needs, and more. Call Charlotte White at Exquisite Family Mortuary for Southern hospitality in Southern California. That's Charlotte White at 323-577-5562. Exquisite Family Mortuary is located nearby in Inglewood, California. Exquisite Family Mortuary, where your loved one becomes our loved one. We knew you'd stick around. This is LA's home for Progressive Talk Radio. Be heard. Welcome back to KBLA Talk 1580.
Maya Jupiter. Of a world where all children are protected. No matter where you live, we are all connected. I'll never accept anything less than peace. All guns, all violence, all fire must cease. Sometimes there's no words, just my open arms. All I have is love. I pray that it's enough. I hope to reach your heart. Hope you hear these cries of the innocent lives that don't deserve to die. Don't believe all you read, corporate media lies. I'm seeing genocide in real time with my own eyes. You can debate and argue as much as you want, but none of that is gonna stop them dropping the bombs, raining down on Gaza, now Yemen, Lebanon. When will it stop? It goes on and on. More families suffer, we will not stand by. People across the world fly kites in the sky. Weapons. All I have is my words, but if they need to be a weapon, then let them be heard. Spreading truth across the world to anyone who can hear. Send an embrace of love to melt away fear. I want children to be free as the kites in the sky, to live life with safety and heads held high. No fear, no worries about the next bomb blast or how long the next meal will last, or be blamed for their own death by leaders in the US who talk about liberty and peace in the same breath. And the Democrats fall into line, speak out and no doubt be ready to resign. This insanity cannot be sustained. Kids teaching kids breaking to stay sane. Women play drums and dance amongst the fire. Children around the world fly their kites higher.
Maya Jupiter. Fire right there.
Song still brings just the imagery that I thought of when I was writing that song, Kids Teaching Kids Breaking. People have asked me about that. It's the Camp Breakers, which is this beautiful studio in Palestine where and I say kids because they're just young adults in their 20s teaching really small little ones breakdancing, and their studio has been bombed. They have lost kids to the bombs and to the these continuous attacks. And it's just they post a lot online if you want to follow them on Instagram, Camp Breakers, and they're fundraising to rebuild their studio. But, to just that act of resilience, to teach dancing, to be a dancer, to see these little B-boys and B-girls amongst the rubble as their only way to express joy, to move their bodies, to have a purpose. It's such a beautiful thing to see, and also, horrifying. And, we're witnessing a genocide, and what can we do about it? So this song is called Kites. I wrote it with Nova Emad, who's an Iraqi Canadian singer, and we just wanted to share something, to contribute something. So
yeah, well, I mean, speaking out and making people think about things in different ways is an important contribution. You're very specific, which is also bold and important. Do you worry about that?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah,
I do, because it's real. Especially now under this government as well. People are being denied entry at the border because of the social media accounts and what they say, and it's like, where's the free speech? I do, and I know that I probably am not being invited to events, or I'm sure that financially it's affecting me in different ways, not where it's like not being offered to work or losing work, but I mean, I'm not the first, right? We are generations and generations of people who have had to make those, who've had to stand up and say the truth. So,
well, here's the thing. I mean, we haven't spent a lot of time together, but my sense of you is that even if you told yourself, okay, now I'm going to shut up so I can have more opportunities in the entertainment business, it wouldn't work.
No.
It would just pop out. Like I always say, I think I have Tourette's syndrome. Like I say, okay, Dominique, you're not going to say that. You're going to get on this TV show and you're not going to say, and then boom, first thing I say, Free Palestine. Whoops.
I'm a Sagittarian. And you know what's funny is that I have like foot in mouth, all the time. And I'm just at the point in my life where I go, when I say something and I'm like, oh, I shouldn't have said that. And then I go, well, wasn't the first time, it's not going to be the last time. It's going to happen again.
Oh, man, especially a Sagittarian. They'll say it and then fight you. Y'all. Anyway, and along those lines, there's a couple of actual, in your ARTivist space, there's a couple of events. We mentioned the one tomorrow.
Tomorrow, come to the Miracle Theater. Please come along. There's a link in my bio and at IG, Maya Jupiter. You can buy tickets. We're raising money for Friends of Congo and Egna Legna. So this is for the Congo and Lebanon. Richie Reseda is going to be doing a workshop. I'm really excited because I follow him online. I have not met him in real life, but it's a workshop called A Way to Live Without the System. And also we're going to have a Dubkid dance class, a Lebanese dance class by Maha, and a sound bath. So there's going to be a marketplace, food vendors, poetry, performances. It's going
sounds
to be
great,
really
and
amazing.
You'll be hosting part of it.
Yes, and I'm hosting.
Absolutely, that's at the Miracle tomorrow from 2 p.m. to 10 p.m. So somewhere in your day it should fit in. 2 p.m. to 10 p.m.
Yes.
That is amazing. You also have something for Altadena.
Yes. May 3rd, there will be a fundraiser for Altadena at the Eagles Center there up on Woodbury Road. And that's raising funds for different organizations in Altadena. So we live close to Altadena. My children lost their school, the Pasadena Waldorf School. We lost it in the fires. So many families are displaced. They either lost their homes, they can't get back into their homes because of the smoke damage, high levels of lead, asbestos. what's crazy is that insurance companies are telling them that they have to go back, that, they consider that it's safe, but it's not safe. So they're in this, it's just a really challenging time right now.
How are your kids doing? I mean, losing your school is
Yeah.
a whole trauma in itself.
Yeah, it's really, really sad. And I think they're little by little, getting through it. But it's more that like friends just went away. You know what I mean? Like they lost friends who had to move, whether it was, down to Orange County or out of state or can't come to the new location that we're finally at after 2 months. They just don't have their friends in their class anymore. Things aren't the same. They like the new campus, the new spot, but it's challenging, I think. But I didn't want to move us. I thought at the end of the day, if they can be with their community, their teachers and their friends that have remained, they can get through this together, and they can be with other kids that all can relate to the same experience. And one parent actually, in one of my parent meetings, we were talking off air about how much I'm involved with the school.
You have to be, yeah.
One of our class Zooms, one parent said, how beautiful that the children will be witness and be part of the rebuilding of Altadena, and we'll get to see this community come back. And to give them that opportunity, like what a life experience. And that made me feel very emotional, thinking about it in that way. That, they are, this is quite a challenging time and a unique opportunity in life. It's so funny because we live a very privileged life. We're very blessed. And I would say to my husband, I don't know if the kids have enough struggle in their life. I don't want them to grow up and be spoiled. Everything's looked after for them, and then this happens, and it's like, okay, well, first of all, they're COVID, they're pandemic kids as well,
right?
They've lived
Which
through
is
COVID.
Plenty struggle for any kid.
They've, and now they're going through this, and so.
It's funny because we work so hard to make sure our kids don't have the same struggles that we had financially or whatever. But I think this generation, these younger kids, their struggles are things that we don't always see. It's not, there's no food in the refrigerator, but you've got to deal with the mental health pressures of the online world, the overexposure to all kinds of information, fascism creeping upon the world, fires and pandemics,
the climate change and all of that.
I think when we say, we had it tougher, that's a little simplistic.
Yeah, I think so too. I agree with that.
Yeah. But it's a consideration. How do you teach gratitude? How do you teach gratitude when you've never, really wanted in a physical sense?
Yeah. They're very good. They are very grateful kids. I think I'm just conversations. I think I'm always talking to them about, and we travel a lot too. And I think they get to see parts of the world and how other folks live, and I think that exposure helps as well.
You travel and you bring the kids
all the time.
So because it's a 2-artist household.
Well, yeah, my husband travels and we go along. We follow. Yeah,
that's great though. I mean, it's it can't be 100% easy having a 2-artist household.
No, and he is away a lot. He's on the road a lot, whether it's performances, festivals, or conferences, and it's challenging, but we balance it. We always had a rule that he can't be gone for more than 2 weeks. So,
okay, nice rule.
Yeah.
So before, when we were up against news, traffic, and sports, and I unfairly asked you about your dedication to the mic, you said it would take longer than. So I just want to make sure I open the space for you to finish that thought if you want, because you were talking about, what's your motivation for being an artist? Is it just how do I get a check, or is it some kind of commitment to the art itself?
I think that. It's so funny. When I was younger, I was like, anything. This is how I got into radio and TV, because I was like, I just want to be around, hip hop. I just want to be in music. And also, however I can contribute to it, hence the tour promotions and other things, event promotions. I just wanted to be involved. And I was fortunate because then I was able to sustain myself financially through music by having lots of different jobs, right? 7 different jobs all the time, running at the same time. And now I guess in my life, I realize, okay, there's no money in streaming. There's no, like, unless I do a show, like it's very hard for artists to earn a living. Shows is one thing. I'm not a content creator. I'm not going to sell products online. Like, I'm not going to update my Instagram every single day. So, I have no interest in sort of marketing my brand. They teach you, in the music industry, like, you are a brand.
Yeah.
No, I'm
now.
more the other. I've more like come around and understand that I get that that's a business side of it, but no, I think every person has the ability to be creative, and what I love about hip hop is accessibility. I think that's one of the beautiful things, as opposed to playing classical music. You don't have to study for years and have thousands and thousands of dollars to train. You just need to dedicate yourself and, practice on your own time. But, and study the pioneers and study the people that came before you, and you can be self-taught. I just love the accessibility of it. But I think that if we reframe music outside of a capitalist context, and we look at it as an expression of yourself, an expression of the community, something that heals. It's a healing art form. It's something that also can create change in the community, and sort of think of it more in those terms, then maybe more people will be active and feel that they can contribute to making music, to making art, whatever form of art,
Maya Jupiter is my guest. We'll continue the conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
More of First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward.
This is Stevie Wonder, calling on Los Angeles property owners to help get unhoused veterans off the street. If you're a property owner or know someone who is, consider accepting veteran housing vouchers. You will receive guaranteed rent while providing a stable and safe home. Help end veteran homelessness and make a real difference in people's lives.
Learn more by emailing houseourvets@lacity.org.
For all of us, this generation and the next, there is simply no place in our lives for litter. And yet, it's everywhere we look. And unfortunately, it does belong to all of us. So, let's come together and create a litter-free, clean California, once and for all. Remember to properly dispose of your trash and recycling. Secure truckloads with tarps to keep debris from flying out. Clean out your car when you're at a gas station. Take pride in your community by organizing a cleanup event. Or join a cleanup event near you. Zero litter is the goal. Join us at cleanca.com. That's cleanca.com. Let's do it together. Brought to you by Caltrans. cleanca.com. The California Crusader newspaper would like to thank all of our subscribers for their support throughout the years, proudly serving the South Los Angeles and South Bay areas for more than 40 years. The California Crusader is a multicultural, black-owned, adjudicated newspaper that focuses on providing newsworthy information to the people in our community. We're constantly looking for ways to assist businesses in our community to connect with our subscribers. We provide low-cost, effective ways to promote your business with our reasonable and affordable advertising rates. You can participate by suggesting, sharing, and submitting your stories on the California Crusader newspaper Community Share Facebook group page, or visit our website at cal-cruise-news.com. That's calcruisenews.com. Then click on the Submit Now button located on the top right corner of the homepage, or text CCN to 42828. Again, text CCN to 42828. The California Crusader newspaper, working together to build a better community for our future. Subscribe today.
The conversation continues right now with Dominique DiPrima on First Things First.
Dominique DiPrima here with Maya Jupiter. I'm having so much fun. I love this conversation. I could talk to you for another 2 hours.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you for coming in. It's always so much more fun when folks come and hang out in the studio. And, talking about your career, your artistry, your artivism, we all have our own definitions of success and thriving. What is it that you still, want to do? And what's your definition of success for Maya Jupiter beyond being a brand? Because, a brand is back to the capitalist model, right?
Yeah. I think success for me is just living a happy, healthy life. And
hello. How about that? What about that?
And I'm raising my children, and I think my biggest success will be raising 2 humans that are good people who give back. I don't even like that term, give back. Who contribute to their community, who are conscious, who are aware, who have empathy, who want to make a difference in the world in their own special, unique ways. I think that's my job now. In terms of my own ambition, I have been training in capoeira for the last couple of years.
Wow.
Which I started 25 years ago. Then my son begged me to do a martial art, so we joined Capoeira Brazil. Shout out to Counterbalance in Eagle Rock. And after 6 months of my kids' training, I jumped back in. And so I have ambitions about getting higher belts and getting better at that game.
It's not too far from breakdancing,
Exactly,
capoeira.
exactly.
This is back to your roots.
I know.
Your B-girl roots.
But that has really been feeding me, just being there, learning Portuguese, learning the songs, learning berimbau, just getting, growing in the understanding of the game. That has been such a beautiful artistic expression. But musically, I still want to make music. I have my band in LA that I love very much, and I would love to also tell my story in a book format. So,
I would love to read that. Do you see maybe radio or VJing again in your future?
I'm always open to that for
sure. Hear that, Tavis? This is the farm team for KBLA right here. First things first. What do you think about? I know I shouldn't be dropping this at the end, close to the end of the interview, but what do you think about the state of hip hop right now? Women in hip hop.
I had a dream.
The multiculturalism. You had a dream. I had a
dream. I woke up this morning that I was like chatting with Doechii. So I was like, what? Where did that come from? So maybe, I think the future's bright. I think she's a very incredible artistic talent. Talk about women in hip hop, like Rhapsody is incredible.
Yes.
I think that we are finally giving space to a diverse range of artists again, which is what we had in the 90s.
Yes.
And then it was like, okay, now that you can only be one type of MC, and now it's finally opening up. So I think it's exciting.
Yeah. And what about more different ethnic groups? I mean, you represent at least 2 or 3.
Yeah. I've always known about hip hop as hip hop is global. Yes, and I know that there are people around the world like me who grew up with it and who have used it as their expression. And I think it's such a beautiful thing that the music transcends borders and that, it touches folks everywhere around the world. And so it would be great to have their voices and give them a platform in the United States as well, because everywhere else around the world, we put Americans, on a pedestal, and we,
Well, at least they used to. We'll see how long that lasts. I wonder if they're putting tariffs on hip hop. I'm just the hip hop tariff is 99%. What do you want to leave us with? The hour has flown by. We've got about a minute here. What do you want to leave us with, Maya Jupiter?
Just want to say thank you so much. It's such an honor to be here with you, Dominique DiPrima, the icon, the living legend. Oh my gosh, fangirling.
You're kind.
I love LA. I want to shout out Project Blowed.
Yeah.
incredible underground hip hop artists here in Los Angeles, and overground. Medusa, who has music coming out, a whole brand new album.
Can't wait.
Yes, I'm just grateful to be part of this community here and to be welcomed and loved. And I just, want to just share my love and my support with everybody. And you can follow me on Instagram at Maya Jupiter.
And she did it in 35 seconds, like a true radio person / VJ, because we have these little clocks in our brains that go tick, 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 tick. That was 60 seconds and wrap. Maya Jupiter on all platforms. I recognize it because I'll tell people a minute and then 3 minutes later they're still talking. You had seconds to spare. That's that radio clock. No, it's a beautiful thing. I recognize game. Beautiful. Maya Jupiter, thank you so much. It was a great conversation, a lot of fun, and I hope folks will show up on Saturday to the Miracle Theater and May 3rd at the Eagles Center.
Eagles Hall in Altadena, yes. And tomorrow, Miracle Theater, come down, Liberation Collective for the Congo and Lebanon. Let's show up and represent.
2 p.m. to 10. You got a lot of time to get there. The best of Tavis Smiley is up next. All the highlights from his week. If you're looking for my highlights, go on YouTube or wherever you get your pods. You can hear this interview and see it and all the others. They're for free and they will live forever on the internet, we hope. In the meantime, tap in on social media. I'm at DiPrima Radio, DIPRIMA Radio, Maya Jupiter, Miles Low Music, and KBLA 1580. Like my mama, the late, great Diane DiPrima used to say, history is now, and we are making it together. Until Monday, one love.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Bree Wood with 4 Things You Should Know with BIN News. The son of former NBA player Gilbert Arenas is hospitalized following a serious crash in LA. Elijah Arenas was placed into an induced coma after crashing his Tesla Cybertruck early Thursday morning. The 18-year-old is a 5-star basketball prospect and is committed to play at the University of Southern California. A federal judge has paused parts of President Trump's executive order on election laws, ruling he lacked